everyone, this is Nimish and today we're going to review the movie Okay Jaanu starring Aditya Roy Kapoor, Shraddha Kapoor, Nasiruddin Shah, directed by Shad Ali. Now, I'm not sure how much he directed it, so to speak, and I'll get back to that point later, but let's go right in and speak about the performances. Aditya Roy Kapoor, I believe, is an average actor. He has his strengths when it comes to playing a drunk, when it comes to playing refrained, natural, serious characters. But in this movie, he has to play over the top, happy, cheerful, and I think that comes across as a little fake when he plays in some scenes. So I'm not sure if I enjoyed his performance as much as I could have, or as much as I enjoyed Dulquer Salman's performance in the original, which came across extremely naturally, extremely, kind of continuous in a good flow, whereas here it kind of seemed a little off in parts, and in the serious parts he kind of seemed very, very strong, which is his strength. Moving on to Shraddha Kapoor's acting, she did a fabulous job. I think she's a highly underrated actress. Many of you will feel that, of course, she's not underrated. She's so famous. We all love her. Yes, we do. But the kind of level that Alia Bhatt has reached in terms of acting performances and appreciation, I don't think that level of credit and appreciation is being given to Shraddha Kapoor. And she's been giving some fantastic performances, including Okay Jaanu and in a previous movie, Rock On 2. In this movie, the complete charm element and the complete love element that you want to feel in a romantic comedy is carried completely by Shraddha Kapoor on her shoulders. She's the one who brings that romance, she's the one who brings that joy, the kind of all the lovey-dovey elements and the cheesy elements that you want to see on screen, that magic that you want to see is brought in by Shraddha Kapoor, not by Aditya Roy Kapoor. And I think she, with all her subtle nuances and her improvisations as an actor, is a lot of fun to watch. She's absolutely brilliant. Now, she could have easily copied the original actress Nithya Menon, who did a fabulous job, and it's unbeatable what she has done, but its due credit should be given to Shraddha Kapoor for making this role her own. She's literally converted this character into a Shraddha Kapoor character, giving it her personality, her approach, her kind of image to it, and has completely changed the image of what Nithya Menon had done, and I think that's where she's done a fantastic job. Nasiruddin Shah is the powerhouse performance in the movie because he plays this character which is the soul of the movie. He plays a character which is a little troubled. He's a caring, he's a guide, he's the all-knowing, he loves his wife, he feels sad, and he's balancing a lot of things together, and he brings that soul in his performance. And I think in recent times, in commercial movies when Nasiruddin Shah has been a part of, this has been his finest performances. He's given an incredible level of soul and magic to this movie, and whenever he comes on screen, it's a pleasure to watch him. He is that fabulous. Everyone else in the supporting cast who comes in for a couple of scenes are average. There's nothing much we can say about them. So on the performances front, this movie I would say is driven by Shraddha Kapoor because she's the lead actress, followed by Nasiruddin Shah, and then Aditya Roy Kapoor, who basically does what he had to do. And I feel personally that the director should have kind of pushed him further to bring out more charm in him, to kind of bring out more natural elements in him, which I thought at some points went over the top. He was trying to be overly happy, overly joyous, overly cool with his natural attitude, which really kind of did not work in some scenes. Now, moving on to the direction of this movie, I'm not sure, as I said at the beginning, how much direction is involved because this is literally a frame to frame copy. Now, OK Kanmani was a huge hit. For those of you who haven't watched it, I highly recommend you guys watch it, and I've reviewed that movie separately, so if you want to check out that review also, the link is in the description. So I'm not sure how much direction is involved because this felt more like a business venture. It felt like they wanted to cash in on the success of OK Kanmani and on the great on-screen chemistry of Aditya Roy Kapoor and Shraddha Kapoor, and make this new romantic kind of movie which will do wonders like Ashiki 2 did, and they wanted to at least give it a try. And so it felt like the director Shad Ali was instructed by Mani Ratnam and Karan Johar to basically make the same film as it is, because that's what it is. At one point, I also felt that if the makers had an option to just use face replacement technology, the best technology ever, and just change the actors, they would do that, because the movie is exactly the same, frame to frame, and sometimes it's hard to believe that they actually made this movie again so similarly. So that's why I feel that there's no direction involved. It's basically a project, it's basically a venture. They also probably wanted to give Shad Ali a new image instead of being a flop filmmaker or a filmmaker who made Kill Dil. they wanted to give him a new image that he's the guy who made Okay Janu, so you can hire him, he's a good director kind of a thing. So that's the kind of image they probably wanted to give him. They probably wanted to give Aditya Roy Kapoor a kind of a good lift after Fitur, and so on and so forth. They wanted to make a lot of money. So I really can't judge the creative aspects of editing, cinematography, set design, direction of Okay Janu, because it's 99.5% the same as Okay Kanmani, and I have spoken about all that in my Okay Kanmani review. So if you guys still want to know what I think about the original, definitely check that review out. So when it comes to rating this movie, it's very difficult because it's nothing but a lift off. Now, if Mani Ratnam himself had remade this movie, just like A.R. Murugadas does, he remakes his own movies in Hindi, that's completely understandable, even if it's frame to frame, because that's his creativity. He made the original in one language or on a smaller budget or whatever, and he wanted to make it again. Even if he makes it 100 times, it's acceptable, and you can review it and kind of figure out what they changed or what they remain the same. But here it's a different director who's been basically handed the movie and said that just make this again, this film has worked, you just take the DVD and refer to it as much as you want and make the whole film again. And so there's really no points I can give for the technical aspects of the movie because it's exactly the same as the original. Now, in terms of the success factor of this movie, people who have not watched the original, which is basically more than half of India, and people who are in the young age bracket of 15 to 25, I would say max 25, maybe 26, but nothing above that. Those people who love Ashiki 2, who love music of Ashiki 2, who have already liked the songs of Okay Janu, who love Aditya Roy Kapoor, Shraddha Kapoor, even more so when they're together, and who love romantic comedy movies or romantic movies, so to speak, they will definitely enjoy Okay Janu. It is clearly targeted for a particular section of the audience, especially in the metropolitan areas, the cities. And so this movie might collect something or the other. It may not be a disaster in a sense, but that doesn't mean that I can give any credit to the filmmakers involved because it's basically a copy. And so I feel like going back and giving Okay Kanmani a higher rating for being such a good movie when I see Okay Janu. But nevertheless, let's, enough of this comparison and enough of these explanations. But that's what I meant, that I can't really judge the creativity because there is no creativity. So rating this movie is difficult, but I'm going to go with 2.5 stars from the point of view of an audience that has never watched Okay Kanmani, that probably doesn't even know or doesn't care about Okay Kanmani, and goes in to watch this movie as a new Hindi movie that's released. This movie deserves a 2.5 stars, and that's what it is. Some of you may love it, some of you may dislike it, depending on your opinions about such movies and such actors and such category of remakes. So that was my review of Okay Janu. I hope you liked it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and keep watching for more.